Welcome to the Lair of the Unknown, my friends. The darkest channel where reality becomes fascination. I am your host, the Dark Lord, and when my blood is not being sucked out by Count Dracula, I'm in my lair talking about something very similar. Okay, my friends, the Chupacabra. The Chupacabra started making national headlines in 1995. But was actually being talked about 20 years before that in 1975, in a small Puerto Rican town known as Mocha, where there were a number of farm animals being killed in a vampiric way, and by that I mean their carcass was completely drained of blood, leading to the townspeople to call the culprit the Chupacabra, which is Spanish for goat sucker. Some believe these killings were caused by members of a satanic cult. However, many eyewitness reports coming forth in 1995 have sketched the appearance of the animal as looking alien-like or reptilian kangaroo-like, with glowing red eyes and spikes coming down their spine, even though these drawings have been dismissed by others as being inspired by the creatures in the 1995 sci-fi film Species. The more realistic and convincing version of this creature is looking more like a hairless coyote infected with mange, which is what most people believe, including me as well. In April of 2014, residents of Radcliffe, Texas, believe they captured a live Chupacabra in one of their traps. Let's take a look at this footage for a moment.
Before 6, a woman in Texas says she's found the legendary Chupacabra and has the evidence to prove it. Jackie Stock says her husband caught the mysterious creature Sunday night. There he is. He has a hairless back, large claws and teeth that some say fit the image of the Chupacabra. Biologist Brent Ortega is not convinced. He believes the animal is nothing more than a small dog with mange. Legendary or not, the little guy will be staying with.
The man claimed that despite assurances by others that it was just a raccoon, the man was solely convinced that he had caught the legendary creature, and claimed that due to the fact that he had been hunting raccoons for several years, that this was not a raccoon. Of course, the Chupacabra was one of the title episodes on Animal Planet's Lost Tapes, Season 1, Episode 4, entitled, well, Chupacabra. In this episode, Mexican immigrants attempted to cross the Mexico-U.S. border after being chased by a creature they believe is the Chupacabra. Let's take a peek at this episode for a moment.
There may have been another Chupacabra sighting not too far from here. That's the mysterious animal known for sucking the blood out of goats.
The animal-killing, blood-sucking Chupacabra.
A beast sometimes described as an alien-like creature, resembling a griffin. Farm animals have been killed and drained of their blood by a mysterious creature. It looks more like something out of a horror movie.
It was the work of the Chupacabra.
The Chupacabra lives.
Also, in August of 2008, deputy sheriffs of DeWitt County, Texas, believe they caught footage of the Chupacabra running away from them when they were checking a fence out, and they believe for a solid fact that it was nothing they had ever seen before. Now, this is the tape.
County sheriffs down kind of between San Antonio and Victoria may have found the mythical, legendary, and elusive Chupacabra. I kid you not, look at the video. This is from the sheriff's cruiser. Last Friday, hours before sunset, the two deputies were checking fence lines near Cuero when they stumbled across that alleged creature of the night. Kills goats and chickens, sucks the blood out of them. Now, one of the deputies, there it is again, called it hairless with a long snout, short front legs, and long back legs. He said it's about the size of a coyote, but when he froze the video and saw its profile, he knew he was not dealing with a coyote at all. The county sheriff says he is willing to work with credible researchers who want to look at the video and help solve the mystery of the Chupacabra. Again, if you don't know what this animal is supposed to do, apparently it has two fangs, and that animal had fangs, and a couple others killed in the area that look like that animal also have those two front fangs. And in the area, goats and chickens have died, and their death was the two fang marks in the neck and the blood sucked completely out. Now again, the sheriff is willing to work with anyone to determine is that really a chupacabra or what is it?
If you notice the snout on that animal, you would acknowledge the fact that there is no way any dog or coyote would have a snout like that. Now, when it comes to the evolution of the Chupacabra legend, people think that this started in the mid-1990s, looking like an alien dog hybrid vampire creature, to present day looking more hairless to mange-infected coyote creature, when really you can go back to the things in the 1970s, when cattle mutilations were being, well, connected to UFOs and extraterrestrials. Maybe the Chupacabra was the culprit instead of the alien theory. I, the Dark Lord, say they can both be contributing factors in livestock mutilations. Only when it comes to the alien conclusion, livestock have been shown to be missing body parts, whereas with Chupacabras, the livestock are shown to have puncture wounds in their necks or another area of the body, which also causes some skepticism. Despite the fact that the Chupacabra has been mainly seen in Central America, it has also been seen reportedly in especially Texas, and as far north as Maine, though it is not native there, or so we think. It has even been seen as far south as Chile, South America. One of the best ways to discredit the coyote infected with mange explanations for the Chupacabra legend is it wouldn't explain the animal's claimed vampirism techniques, as when coyotes hunt and kill their prey, they eat the meat of the animal and whatever else they consume, whereas the Chupacabras, it is only the blood that they consume, as only 3 puncture wounds is found on the body of the animal. Now, many conclude that due to the fact that if the animal is infected with mange, the coyote would not consume the entire body. However, that would not explain the vampiric nature of the culprit. Some have also suggested the environment of the victims to be an explanation. What am I talking about exactly? Some of the climates in these areas succumb to the droughts, which leads to wild predators to lose their main food source to dry weather, leading them to prey on the livestock of farmers, even if it's just blood that they need to survive on. It would also lead to more brutal and vicious killings in each victim, to the point where humans become targets of such vicious creatures. The evolution of this creature is still unknown, and why it only came about in more modern and recent times is also a matter of debate. Despite the fact that the vampiric attacks began being noticed in 1975 to 1995, it is still obvious that these animals have evolved throughout history. Despite the fact that the vampiric attacks began being noticed in 1975 to 1995, it is still obvious that these animals have evolved throughout history. The biggest question that I, the Dark Lord, have is this: where and how did it evolve the blood-sucking diet? There are many insects and other creatures that practice hematophagy, which is the blood-sucking diet, such as mosquitoes and butterflies, and of course vampire bats themselves. If chupacabras, even the supposed hairless coyotes claimed to be chupacabras, were studied properly, we would be able to find out more about the evolution and the dietary traits of these creatures. Okay, my friends, join me next time when I epically conclude the discussion of the great Count Chupacabra. Ciao, bitches.